What's up, guys? Started the 2023 season. I know
Whoop, whoop.
we are a week late, but we had some I had some personal problems. Danny was gonna do the show. Stacy didn't set her calendar.
Yep.
But but hey, listen, we're all adults and things happen. But hey, we're here now. And that's what matters. But guys, man, we got a little bit of information coming out, and we got a good show for everybody set up here. First thing first, let's give our dues to our honorable coach of the year, well deserving.
Yep. Hell of a job. Hell of a job on Coach Dable.
And Sirianni can go take a bus somewhere. I was gonna say something else, but I hate the people. I hate
Go
the
shed
people
a tear somewhere.
yeah,
Oh
because
God,
I've been
He's
hearing
so
over the.
fake.
I've been hearing from all the Eagles fans. Nick Sirianni should have won. He achieved what he
Had a
was supposed
great
to
year.
achieve with that great, that great team you have. If he would have not made the championship, it would have been an underwhelming year for him. He was supposed to go to the championship with that team. That team was built for it.
They're good,
This
man.
guy took Dayball took a bottom four team that was only supposed to win 4 or 5 games this season and got them to the playoffs. Which, like I said before, if we wouldn't have got injured, I think we would have got farther. But like I said, well, better record, I should say. I think divisional rounds where we capped off anyway. But what do you guys think of the coach of the year? Tell me.
I think
Hey.
that it's a great great achievement by Coach Dable. I mean, he turned them around one season. Let's see if the second season get some players in there that you need, positions of need. But I thought they had a hell of a season. His whole coaching staff did a great job. Discipline wise, they fought in every game. Some games were tough. Dealt with injuries. They were still able to make the playoffs, get a playoff win. I think it's a lot more than most Giant fans could have really asked for, to be honest. And I just think it's good for him. And let's see if we can build upon this and get another step further next season.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead,
What'd you say?
Stacey.
Yep. Hey, well deserved. I mean, what'd you say? We should have been like what 5 and
Projected for
5
like
and
4 or 5
14,
win team.
13 or some
Yep.
shit like
6 maybe at best.
yeah, maybe. But I mean, to actually win in a playoff game and then the second one, but still to make it past the first round. That was
Against the
or the
second
wild
seed.
card. Yeah,
Or the third
that
seed. I'm
that
sorry,
was
third
definitely
seed.
not expected at all.
Yep. They did great for
So-
their first playoff game. I mean, it's tough for the second.
It's
but,
first year as a head
continue.
coach too, so I,
Well, one thing I
I
wanna-
believe it was well deserved.
One thing I want to bring up about the coach of the year, I'm gonna give 2 examples. I want 2 examples from you guys also. What game stuck out as this was a coaching battle and he won? The one game I'm gonna say is the Ravens game. That showed me they had a lot of heart and fight. And Dayball provided that fight. Paul Spencer saying Daniel 100% deserves it. Sir, Ian and I had stacked teams. Dayball had a bunch of rejects with a QB on his way out.
How good that-
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
see. Listen, we had the Eagles overpay for Carson Wentz, but they got rid of him. They chucked him. You have Dallas still paying for Zeke and Dak Prescott, so they haven't learned their lesson yet. I don't want to fall into the same mistakes, but we'll get into that. The second game I really want to talk about coaching battle was the Green Bay game.
Yeah.
I feel that showed his prowess as a coach to not only fire the team up, but also shut Aaron Rodgers down. Back to the Ravens game, being down by 2 scores with 8 minutes left in the game and getting a turnover and a touchdown,
Yep.
that came in so handy. And I think not just Wink on the defense, but the character of firing that team up of Dayball, I think that shows his coaching ability. I'm going down to Stacey first. I went to you last time, Dan. Stacey, what 2 games stick out in your head?
What was dude? I don't remember. I'm 51 years old. I can't remember shit from yesterday.
What
But
games?
the What was the game that they went for 2 points? They were
The
down
first
by
game,
1. and-
Tennessee.
Yep.
yeah,
it
and it
was
was at
Tennessee.
the very end, and they went for the 2 points. I was like, we would have went for the tie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Judge would have went for the tie, and he had
Yeah.
the balls to go for the 2 point, win or lose.
Yeah.
That was it. Do or die.
Yeah.
That was it, and that was the first one, obviously, and then the way they played the Packers. I didn't expect that. Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be elite. And the way that the defense stepped up and
Hmm.
just, that was a really good game as well. So
I agree with that Titans game too. That was on my list.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan?
I'm gonna say from the very beginning, I'm gonna say that Tennessee Titans game. I mean, it kind of set a tone for the season. He wasn't afraid, to make that call. And no one expected to win that game. They did really good against Henry. I know it's early in the season, but Derrick Henry usually kills you. And I thought they played just a really good first game, but really set the tone. The Green Bay game also stands out to me. I mean, like you said, that game, they were able to just, battle in that whole game and showed their fight. And there were a lot of games like that, where they just were able to win the game, especially early in the season. I know some of the teams were as good, but you could tell, they got some momentum and they kept doing the right thing. And their motivation was always there. They never quit. They never gave up. But I thought right at the beginning of the season, it stands out to me. Even though Tennessee is not, they're good, but the way they won that game was pretty momentum-wise was excellent job by them.
Yep.
I agree.
Think about, wasn't the Packers game? Weren't we down at halftime by 2 scores?
Yeah.
We were down,
in
almost every game.
Pretty much every game.
Down a lot of games.
We were always down by halftime. And they would just come back out of that locker room, and it was like he would just inspire them.
And the adjustments they made also. That's what I'll say. Like I said, this team was a very second half team. I think we would have won a lot more games. Like that Seattle game was a hands up because both teams were fired up in that game.
Oh yeah.
But Giants were limping into that. They were limping in also, but they were limping in more on their defensive side than we were on our scoring side. We were limping in on our offensive side. That Detroit game,
we were still limited on our defense at that time too.
Yeah, we had lost a few pieces, but what Wink had done, bringing in third stringers and practice squad guys and having them play up to a level where they were stopping starters, I can believe in him. You can only do so much with what we had on offense, and what we had on offense was,
regardless, you should say they did a great job. I thought.
Yeah, so a lot of the games that another game I really want to bring up, even though we lost this game, about coaching and fired up. Even though we lost this game, was the second Dallas game in Dallas.
Yeah, lost by 8.
We limped heavily into that game, and to keep it within one score and apply that much pressure to the Cowboys, who were, in my eyes, the 4th or 5th best team in this league on offense and defense, and to at one point almost take the score up on them and open up the drive.
Well, we were up at halftime.
I think we were, but it was the problem was
this was the Thanksgiving game.
Yes,
right?
Isaiah Hodgins.
Yep,
we were. I believe we were up at halftime on that game.
I believe our producer will tell us that.
I know,
yeah,
Mr. Spencer.
But them playing that hard against a team that was on the roll, and I really thought that hell of a season for Big Blue. We done 25 voices as respect from the boys over on the dark side. Also, fuck the Eagles.
Doesn't answer the question.
Yeah, they lost by 7. They lost by 7 in September. In the first Dallas game, they lost by 7.
And that one we did go up. We scored the first touchdown. We went up 13-6. I thought we had a lot of momentum. Hard to keep it against. Dallas is one of those teams. Kind of shit the bed against Philly, and in the second game we really didn't play.
Did, but they are tough, man. For us.
So
well, what sucked for us is with Washington and Philly, we didn't play them until the total end of the season, and then they were back-to-back games.
Yeah, especially the Washington game, we had a break in between and came back to play them right again.
Came back to
and it looks like I think coming off those injuries, especially coming on that second Washington game, we were getting healthy again, and you started to see the Giants turn the season around again. And I'm glad we got injured when we got injured, because if it would have been towards the end of the season, we would have been out in the Philly game. We wouldn't have.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We wouldn't have had the blueprint to beat Minnesota. We wouldn't have had the not the win to get in. We wouldn't have had all that. We would have been out already. I think Detroit would have overtaken us, and the Seahawks would have overtaken us.
Yeah.
And the thing, Dave right now says, "Hey,
Dave.
Giants crew, what's up, Cowboy Dave? Looking forward to seeing you again, man." But second half, 13-7 Giants ended 28-20. Yeah,
Yep.
okay. So she was right. We were up. I
They
don't remember
played
much.
good in the first half. They were playing good game in the first half, and then they just couldn't really do much on offense in the second half.
I can barely remember what
Oh.
happened yesterday, let alone 3 months ago. But
There's some huge plays in that game. In that first Dallas game,
yeah,
you had the Hendershot play where he's wide open. You had that run, that 40-yard run they gave up.
and then
Where
Darius
the
Slayton.
linebacker hit the wrong gap. Yeah, Slayton had like a drop.
No, remember the play you showed me? Slayton was wide open on the left side, and he
Yeah.
went for the check. I was like, no,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
wide
that-
open.
There's that one play. But what was the game where Slayton could have like caught a deep pass and he dropped it?
I believe that was
Oh.
the Detroit game. It was the Detroit.
Like,
or
like
the-
it could have sealed the game.
No.
He dove. He jumped up and he dropped it as he went to the ground.
there was a few of them this season. I can't even remember.
Oh no!
Like I said, I can barely remember what happened last week, let alone 3 months ago, and especially the season being open over a month ago. So much has happened then. But I
Yep.
do want to get into our next one, which is now that we're in the off season, and this is what's been bugging me because I've been following this.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Like
Like the
it's ridiculous.
Firing
People
of
have been
the
arguing and
agents.
arguing for a week about this.
He
if
fired
you-
a respectable agent.
Yeah.
and
This
then
is a
hiring
very
some
yeah.
other, but like what's like nobody has said the reasoning.
Well,
Really,
he
there's all
because
speculation.
players first, the players first one, the one he went to, they're more like go get your money. But the one he left was a huge powerhouse in agent marketing. So like he left a huge powerhouse, that would fight for him for players first to get that money. And I thought, all right, Daniels would be humble, man. I said, what I said I wouldn't pay him over $22 million a year. No, he's not worth it, Paul. Stop.
No
We're- this-
way! No
this
way!
is not-
50 million? No way!
No way. He's not in. What? You're gonna pay him $2 million per touchdown?
I'm paying him like
Per touchdown?
30,
Right.
30
No,
something,
I'm
low
not.
30s.
It's not even per. It's like
I'll give him that.
$2.35 million per
give him
touchdown.
more
Well,
guaranteed
does that
money.
include
You give
running
him less.
touchdowns?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
It's like he had 23
Oh,
altogether. Hence why I'm, shaved here. My hair's just not growing back.
Oh,
Even when-
for next
even when
season?
I don't know. I don't know if my hair's gonna grow back by then.
Yeah, but did he really ask for 45 million, or people just saying that? Like, I don't know what.
That's the
I
whole
don't
thing
think-
is
I don't
haven't
know.
seen-
I have
I've
no
heard-
idea.
I've heard like the Saquon talks. He wants closer to 14 million a year. They're closer to like 12.
He
It's-
should
well,
be
it's
Stop,
just-
man.
What's
if they
2
had cap
fucking
room,
million?
I'd do-
Seriously,
I would do
like
14,
not
but
for
give him
nothing.
more
You're
guaranteed.
worth
Give
billions
him more
of
guaranteed
dollars.
money, and that way you could give him less.
It's gonna stop for me to say this because
Shut up.
I'm a huge Saquon fan. I've
So
loved
am I.
him.
too. Shut
I
up.
loved
know
him at
where you're
Penn
going.
State. I loved him when we going to the Giants. 2 of my favorite teams in football. Let him the fuck go. I don't care.
That's what.
I
That's
don't.
what I
gave it a-
figure. Like between 35 and 40 might be where it ends up.
If
That
they
might be
sign him
where
for
it ends up.
$35 to $40 million a year, I swear to fucking Christ, I'm gonna just punch
I
John
say
Moore in his
30,
face.
35 or less.
We're gonna march on down to the stadium.
I'm gonna punch him and then I'm gonna dig up his father and punch his father in the face for having him.
But maybe if you give him enough guaranteed, they could back.
You gonna get his mom?
No,
Kelsey
no.
swallowed?
Listen, look at
I don't
all the
know.
successful QBs right now except for Patrick Mahomes. Because he had rookie contracts. That's what succeeds because you're able to put more on that. We need a wide receiver. Why
Yes,
we
we
paying
do.
$40 million for
I agree.
Okay? We need help on the back end also. We need so many things that. All right, let's get this comment, Eileen.
See,
Everyone says
Eileen,
Daniel
I heard,
Jones never asked
I
for $49
heard
million. Was
same
lied
thing.
by
That's one
Jones.
thing that I
Former
heard
agent
about.
CAA to make Jones look bad. It could be. And you're absolutely right,
I
Eileen.
think it's possible.
Because how do you have 3 bad seasons and have one good one and look at the face and be like, I want to be a top 5 quarterback?
I
There's
hope
one of
wide
the Giants looking at
receiver,
position
Dave.
wise come the draft. Wide receiver or it's going to be
Linebacker,
linebacker.
Linebacker.
interior offensive line, centers, guards, maybe another quarterback, maybe
wouldn't-
another
see,
corner.
If I get Lamar, I would want Saquon next to him because
Oh, most
you-
certainly.
you
Those
put
two in the
option. You put them in an
Oh
option.
God.
Oh
Yeah.
my God!
Yeah,
would-
Paul's got a
the-
point. You get someone else for that money if they're
Now I'm gonna ask you a
You
question.
won.
He just said go get Lamar, and we're all digging the idea. Where was this energy when I said this last year? I said this last year. Go after Lamar at the end of the season because I knew that because
He gets
now
hurt.
I've always liked Lamar.
but he gets hurt. He gets hurt, so I don't know.
See, I don't
well,
think-
no, he decided to rest his leg, and I agree with it. You gotta think of a
and that's the
20-year
thing.
career.
But it was kind of fishy how their playoff game he sat. Like
He
To
wasn't
me-
healed.
Maybe he couldn't play. Maybe if he could play, I think he would play.
Like that whole Mike Vick
Okay.
thing, like just put a brace on it. Yeah, I remember though.
Mahomes played through whatever the fuck ankle
He had a high
injury
ankle
he
sprain,
had
but
going on.
I don't think this is
Yeah,
severe.
they-
what,
they-
he
Yeah,
had.
you see his eyes in that second half. They shot so much opium into him, he didn't feel a fucking thing.
Yeah, he made that run, that long ass run, like the ankle. Like I was, what
Dude
the
had
hell?
more tranquilizer in him than Mr. Ed.
But realistically, like if I could pay Jones, like say closer to under $35 million a year, give him more guaranteed, and work it out. But what
I
are they
wouldn't
going
do
to
it.
do?
Like, yeah, like,
Everything
give him-
else.
I don't want it. I
They
would rather
have
go
other
with
needs.
bonuses.
Like if you're going to get a receiver, you need like $10 million in that for a really good wide receiver, probably at least. You know
Listen,
what I'm saying?
I was on here a month ago
He's
saying
probably
two things: Henron Hooker, or I would say
like
or Anthony
Njigba.
Richards.
I want
I like-
Njigba,
Anthony Richards as a
Ohio
quarterback.
State guy, wide
Florida,
receiver.
strong arm. He's got a cannon for an arm. And the thing is, what I've noticed about him, you gotta realize this last month I've been really watching stuff for the draft. From February into the draft, I'm all about the draft. I watch tape from the college football season.
I do the same thing.
What I'm watching about Anthony Richardson from Florida, watching him play. If he makes a mistake or he's struggling with something, the next game when he runs into that, he's improved on it, and he's improved
Shane likes him.
widely.
Shane likes him. If you get him late, I wouldn't take him with my first pick. I would take
Yeah,
him
but
in the
us taking
second or third round if
25,
he's there.
He's not going to be there by the second round. He's not going to be there.
He
is
might
such a-
not be there. If he's that
he's a-
talented, he won't be
he,
there.
if he would have went last year in the draft, he would have been number one pick. He would have been the number one quarterback off the draft. It wouldn't have been Pickett.
Thank
Paul
you,
Spencer
Paul.
says Lamar knew he
yeah.
was on his way out, just like Stacey said. He gave up on the team playoffs for a BS injury. Even teammates said, "Suck it up. It's the playoffs. It's the playoffs." All right, I understand about this whole play for
He
it.
should play if he can play.
Why would you risk your body for an organization, not your team, but an organization that won't back your money? Every team that played like
But-
he did, every player that played like he did, got a contract. He did not get a contract. Why?
Right, but that's why I'm saying he gave up. Like he knew it wasn't
Could he have played? If he
obviously
could have played,
it wasn't gonna go anywhere. But
I heard
to,
he wasn't
like,
medically cleared.
But he might not have been
No,
cleared. That is
no, he
possible,
could
too.
be, I believe he had been questionable.
But think about it.
I don't know.
What has that organization
I don't know
done
what's
for
going
him?
on.
They have not got him a top receiver.
No.
They have not gotten him help
Oh,
on the offensive
definitely
line.
not.
And they let their defense disintegrate.
They let him use his legs, and that's probably
Rick
why
Martindale, I
he was
guess.
like, fuck
But
this
look at
also
shit.
Debo.
why.
Debo was doing two positions at once. What happened? He got paid. Lamar's doing quarterback and running back is not getting paid.
He got
And you gotta
40, at least
remember,
40
he's
something
not.
million
He's a
dollars
first round
year.
pick, but once you get past the first 10 in the first round, that money dwindles down a lot. So, because Baker Mayfield made about $6 million more
What
than
a joke.
than
Sorry.
Saquon Barkley did, and they're one pick apart. Now
Yeah.
imagine 1 to 30, what 30's making. Pick 30 is not making a whole lot for 5 years.
You take advantage of rookie contracts these days. But I like the
Yes, and that's what they have to do. But when
You
you
know?
have an MVP under your season like that, and your team goes out and does nothing for you in the draft. No offensive weapons, don't trade at deadlines. What are you to do? You
get
can't believe in the
discouraged.
organization. Exactly. So I seen him leaving a year ago. And then you have some dude who hasn't played in a year, or actually almost 2 years now, and he got a fully guaranteed contract? Come on now.
Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing with DJ now. I don't think Shade's signing anybody for over $40 million a year with their cap situation. He wants it to probably be closer to $30 million a year, which I would be okay with.
20.
You know, but I know, but he's going to get more than 20 because middle of the road gets.
But that's the thing.
Than that.
Use
this
that.
Is how the market is. But I agree.
Use that. The franchise tag. Don't use the main one. Use the one where if he gets a better
lower
deal,
one.
You get 2 first-round picks for it.
And
I would do it because I would set that. I would set the Colts up and Tampa Bay up because they would do it in a heartbeat. For us, it's true. Pollard makes 4-year contract. 3.11 is crazy. Exactly.
That's 3.1 million per year for 4 years.
Yeah, he signed like a couple of years ago, I think. Pollard.
Like Slayton. Slayton's not asking from him, and he's going to be a free agent too.
Yep.
I'd bring back Slayton before I bring back Jones.
What do you think about Shepard?
Jones.
But the thing is, what are you going to do if you
sign
total
4 years?
Yeah, we have what?
3 years or $3 million for 4 years.
And they're how much money are they sinking into Zeke per year? Yes, Life with Zilla. He is adorable.
Yeah, it ain't about looks. It's about playing. And no offense, the football field's ugly. I can care less.
But that man will bleed for his team. That's the thing is, I can't see him like just all of a sudden becoming like, you know what I mean, like so arrogant, like the way he's been and played. I don't know. He put his heart into it.
For me, 30 million seems high, and I know that's the market now.
I know that's for his.
I know that's the market.
It does, yes.
Because right now we're sitting on 46 million in cap. Okay. If you sign him for over 30 million a year, that would leave you 15 million in cap just for this year.
And for the rookies,
and we're the third highest in cap.
Yeah.
Okay. That means you're going to lose out on Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, because you got to pay Dexter Lawrence unless you franchise tag him. You're going to lose Saquon. We're losing Julian Love.
Probably.
No.
Maybe. He might cost too much.
Then we have to pay Xavier McKinney soon.
And then next year's Thomas.
And then next year's Andrew Thomas. Yep. So I'd rather get a rookie QB in that we can work on for a year. Or listen, Dayball's going to come. He's become the quarterback whisperer. Out of Box Network says, viewers,
do we got a survey question here going again?
Yeah, let us know. What do you think we should pay Daniel Jones this year? And if you're an Eagles fan and you say $100 million a year,
yeah, we're just going to tell you to shut the front door.
Yeah,
same with the Cowgirls fans.
Because you're going to pay Jalen Hurts $50-60 million a year, and I guarantee it. But
we don't want to get into that trap like they did with Dak out there in Dallas.
Like, you get a quarterback, use him for 5-6 years, go on to the next prospect.
Yep.
Unless he's a generational talent, like a Patrick Mahomes, like, maybe a Josh Allen. But look, we're looking at Josh Allen disintegrate as we are. So how much of it is coaching and how much of it is raw talent? 3 years, 110 million. No.
Sorry, Zilla. I have to disagree with you.
3 years. I give him 4 years, 80 million. With 60 million guaranteed.
He's going to get more than 20 million.
I don't care. Let him go get it. Let him go get it.
If that's what Shane wants to do, I mean, if Daboll's like, I could do without it. I like somebody else,
I'll take Max Duggan. I don't care. I'll take Jimmy G for a year for like $5 million. I do not care.
He's sexy.
Well, that would be the ultimate move. If he lets him walk, that would be, not a risk, but that would be interesting if he does. And I think they're going to sign him, but if he lets him walk, it opens you up to do a lot more to probably help the team, even though you're going to have to
because I don't think Dexter Lawrence will be as dominant if it wasn't for Leonard being right next to him.
Yeah.
And,
they do struggle. When Leonard Williams is out, they do struggle in the run game.
He's going to get 4 years, 140. That's crazy. Like, we talked about Carson Wentz getting like 120 like 2 years ago, and we're like, that's crazy expensive. We're up to like 200. Oh my God.
Inflation, Evan. Have
No,
you seen the
but
Have
we
you
were
seen the
expecting-
price of a
That's
dozen eggs?
But we were expecting the cap to go up also. Like the cap was
Like
supposed to go
our
up in the next
salaries.
2 years.
See?
It's not going up. So
No.
you're like these expenses are getting bigger, and you don't have the room for it.
Yeah.
Like these teams are making more. Like these teams can go out and spend $1 billion a year on players if they wanted to.
Mhm.
That cap is to make it even for everybody.
Right. And so the
And if
NFL
you're gonna,
to reevaluate that.
if these contracts are gonna get this big, they need to make it like baseball and have a luxury tax.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have it's getting to that point where you're gonna have to let everything go and just have them be what it's about. Have them pay the money they want to pay for people.
Yep.
And because this whole salary cap is not helping anybody. And we're at the point now where the NFL is so big where there's no team that's going to be really hurt by it, and for at least 5-6 years. Boston says the QB last 5 years went from 28 million to Mahomes 50 a year. No Hurts could break the bank. It's not just inflation. It's just we were expecting. I guess everybody was expecting the salary cap to move. Like it went
the
from.
market is way up.
I know that
But
it went from.
but as it should, because like you said, you can't as a team, you can't keep all these pieces in place.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder.
If this is it, like you have this is how high you can go. Like you need to be able to take it
because if they don't take the cap off this now, and I'm saying this like within the next year or so, if they don't take the cap off this now, there's going to be franchises that are going to take 6, 7, 8 years to recover. And I'm talking like teams like Washington, teams like the Saints. The Saints are going to take 20 years to recover.
Oh my God, because of fucking Peyton.
No, it's not even that. It's just
Well, I mean, but look what they gave up for him.
Yeah, 45.1 million. That's the market now.
It can't.
That's crazy.
I mean, they got to be able to drive.
There's a
their
lower number.
Maseratis and go to Aruba.
That's crazy. You can't do it for that.
You're gonna have these
wealthy.
You're gonna have these franchises that are not gonna be able to recover from this. And the Giants are in the midway now. But if come a few years from now, we don't have a star quarterback. That's gonna be a loss in revenue. And once that's a loss in revenue, if they do take the cap off of it, finally, this team's not going to be generating enough to pay players anyway.
Yeah, you have to figure the cap out. But the cap goes up 20 million a year or something like that.
It's supposed to, but after COVID, it's been like deadlock between 230 million and 250 million. I think
like 195 like that when the NFL came back after COVID.
Yeah, like I remember the Eagles being like 80 million over cap. I'm like,
yeah, a lot of teams were way over the cap.
Like, and the Giants
they were cut players like crazy. Remember?
Yeah, and it's unbelievable. Getting into like I said with Saquon though, like Saquon is not asking for anything really. Like
out of the
ordinary. Not that bad.
I heard he's up more 60. I thought he wants McCaffrey money.
Yeah.
And I think if you're at 12, come to him and be like, listen, how about this? First 2 years we'll do 13 and you're at 12, you do 14 million a year.
Next year though.
Yeah, but that's not a lot. 16 million is not a lot.
Oh, right, exactly.
It needs to go up. It needs to go up to like 100 million. Like if quarterbacks gonna be getting 50 million a year and actually 50 million a year. Don't forget, offensive linemen
pay the other 26 players.
A couple that do, and that's it.
Offensive linemen are making almost 25 million a year.
Yeah,
like almost 30 million a year now. Wide receivers are making between 10 and 20.
At least, like 15.
So, like linebackers, even, if you're a top 2 or 3 linebacker in the league, you're gonna be making just over 30 a year, or just under 30 a year. So, it has to go up by a significant amount. Because if you're paying 1/5 of your salary to one player,
exactly.
It's going to handicap not just one team. It's going to handicap the bottom 10 teams in the league. And then what happens when that team sucks for 10 years? oh, we got to relocate, we got to
Yeah.
rebrand the team, we got to
Mhm.
find a new owner, we got to find a new stadium. Like, you're gonna run into these problems if you don't increase the cap by a lot, or just
Yeah,
take the
because
cap
you're
off
not
and have it a
making it
luxury tax.
even across the board.
But then again, they're scared of letting the thing off because they don't want like people like Jerry Jones going out and paying, a
Well,
star
that's
wide
because
receiver.
Jerry Jones is a douche. We all know this.
But there's markets that would, benefit from having, say like these kids come out of college, they draft them, and they're, you can still keep that, make rookie contracts longer, make them 5 or 6 years, like
I'm
baseball.
glad they did rookie contracts that we did it. Now you don't have to spend millions of dollars on a quarterback that you don't know is worth the shit yet. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
think do it
I
like
think it's the
baseball.
best thing they did.
I
to
think
be honest.
that baseball of having that 6 years with that organization, no matter what.
Yeah, where they own your rights.
They own your rights for 6 years, and then make it 4 or 5 years, and then make the last year optional for the player, for the
Well,
player's
like
benefit.
a year 6 or something like that. I think teams are going a quicker way out than that.
Because you got most people coming out of college now are third year, so they're only 22, 23.
Yep.
So, Life with Zilla says, are the Giants going to pay Barkley, or are they going to let him walk? I don't think they're that far apart. I think right now this is just a feeling out stage. If it was
I
like
think they'll
July, I think it'll be a lot worse. It's only a
I
feeling out
agree,
stage.
Paul.
Barkley
Yeah.
will not
Yeah.
sign a
He's
franchise
not
tag for
doing
10
it.
I
points
think we'll
too.
tag
No.
him. Why not?
He
Why
won't
not?
play.
Yeah, but then he won't play. But
I
then
want
if
him to
you
hold
tag,
up.
but
I want
do
his
you,
leg to hold
but
up
can you
another
tag
year.
him and
Like, give
give
him
him
money.
all like the incentives, like so many yards per game and
Yeah,
so
but
many touchdowns and
Maybe.
what I
I'd give
mean?
him.
Like,
But listen, we're at 12. You're at 16. Let's meet in the middle at 14. We'll pay you 13 for the first year, and then just have it work out for like 4 years.
Just give him more guaranteed money.
And then, but listen,
Right.
so
You
like
could
what?
spread out.
14 over 4 years. That's what, just over 50 something million, 50 something,
56.
56 million. Make it 45 guaranteed.
Yeah, give him enough guarantee. Where if you do the same thing with
and-
Jones, though. You do the same thing with both of them. Give
But
him enough
Jones-
guaranteed. You
Saquon
can give
Barkley
him
is
less,
a
and the
generational.
cap will be higher in a couple of years.
He's a generational talent.
Yeah,
Jones is not a generational talent.
exactly.
So why give him the same
I would
deal?
sign Barkley for sure, but Jones can't be signed for $45 million. It's just too much. It's got to be like 30.
No, that's what I'm saying. Don't
20
pay him.
20 something, but give him guaranteed money so we can give him less the next few years. That way he'll feel secure.
We're in
that
cap hell
be way
now.
higher.
We can't be cap. If we restrict ourselves now, it don't matter what happens 2 years from now because we're gonna lose so many fucking pieces that it doesn't matter. That's the problem we're
Depends on how
having.
they draft. If they hit on a couple of drafts,
Listen,
they're
we're
not
not
going to be able
gonna-
to keep everybody.
We're not gonna pull off of Kansas City, and we're not gonna be able to pull off of Kansas City and hit on 5 of 8 draft picks or 5 of 7 draft picks.
Probably not, but you can restructure Williams. You can restructure contracts, and he's one that you got to find
He's
a way to save money. Maybe Shane has a plan for that. Yeah, but I don't know, but we'll see what they do.
I would go day 3. I would go for a running back because running backs are a dime a dozen. If exactly, CMC is $16 million a year. I'd go for $14 million a year.
I would do 14.
Like 14 is
14's
where I
not
would
bad.
be at. If you want to stretch it to 14 and a half for the first 2 years, fine. Let's make it an even 30 million. Even 29 million for the first 2 years, but guarantee it.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. But I want to get into Leonard Williams. He's taking a pay cut so Dexter Lawrence can get paid. What would you do for Dexter Lawrence? I know we don't have him on here at the moment, but what would you do for Dexter Lawrence?
He's one of the best defensive tackles in the league. So 16, 17. It could be almost 20 because he's good. But I don't think Shane would sign him for that much. He hasn't been known to do that. I'd do like 16 million, 17, somewhere in there. But that's the thing. How are they going to do that? If they sign Jones for a ton of money, how are they going to do that? You know what I'm saying? They couldn't do it this year. They have to wait another year. So I would do him. He might get close to 20 million because he's probably a top 5 defensive tackle, top 3 maybe this past year.
I do. Yeah, Jones and Barkley definitely.
I'll be right back,
complement
guys.
each
Give me
other in
1
the-
second.
All right.
Well, yeah, that's why I said it. If they're going to let Jones walk, he better have a plan for to have something similar.
Mhm.
But I think 45 minutes a lot for Jones. I've been seeing people argue about it. It's just that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
If I'm going to give him money, that's why I said if you're going to sign him, you could spread the money out and still save money. Give him enough guaranteed, and you don't got to give him that much.
Right. So that you can
He'll feel
actually.
secure. That way, I'm
Right.
like, oh, I'll get this much at least, and at least the next couple years I make this much.
And I'll be making
it'll
this.
balance out.
So exactly. And then you'll be
Barkley,
able to
I
like
think, could
kind
get
of
tagged or signed.
right.
But 14's not bad. He's but if you sign him, he has to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Carr, Rodgers,
What about
Rodgers
Carr,
costs a lot of
Rodgers?
money.
Oh
Carr,
yeah. I don't think we
you
can.
probably get for under
Carr, we could
30
probably
million at
afford.
least.
We can't afford Rodgers. I mean,
Rodgers,
he
no
just
way.
went on that dark retreat. I mean,
He's going a lot. I think.
yeah.
He's
he
older
figured
also,
everything
so-
out on his darkness retreat.
Yeah.
That's weird. Who does that?
Hey, sorry about that.
Hey,
But yeah, go continue.
no, we were talking about. Did you see Aaron Rodgers in his darkness
Who would you
retreat?
take, Carr or Rodgers? If you walked off from Jones, but Carr won't cost cheap either.
I don't want either.
Yeah, I don't want either of them. If they're not gonna sign Jones, then draft somebody.
That's what I'm saying. The
You
best
could draft
do is
like,
draft.
somebody
let's
and
actually
sign some
rebuild
free agents
from the
and build
bottom.
your team. So
Like we tried Jones, we tried drafting our own, it didn't work out. Let the new GM have his pick. You gotta give him time to do what
that's
he
the
gotta
interesting
do.
thing. Is he gonna want his pick, or is he gonna do
That's
they
right,
like Jones
Zilla.
enough to keep him?
See, the recipe right now for the recipe to win is rookie contracts. Look at Trevor
Yeah.
Lawrence coming into his own. Last year he was on the verge of being bust, but he's not a bust.
Yeah.
Like he came back in that Chargers game, and that was him. He made mistakes, yeah, but it's his style, and I think it's coaching him more than anything. I think we have a solid coach now.
We do. But the question is, do they like Jones enough to want to keep him enough? Is
The
Dable
boys.
able to tell Shane, this is the guy I want, and just make it happen? Because I wonder how much swing Dable has. Shane.
Oh, he's got balls.
Oh,
so there's a
he's
lot
got-
of swing going on.
He could
He is
insist
swinging.
he wants him back, and that's what it's about. If Dable thinks, I like Daniel Jones as a guy. He gave us everything. He got us to the playoffs, got us a playoff win. He may be that person who was like, I want to see what they're gonna do. But if you sign for 45 million, it straps you down this year. If you tag him,
Big time.
it straps you down. You could try.
Why
to risk
tag him?
I wouldn't tag him either. I would not tag him.
Everything he can do, Anthony Richardson, Max Dugan, and Hedron Hooker can do.
I think you could find someone in the draft, but it's also a risk. But if that's what Shane wants to do, to have a lot of cap space to fill other needs, like the middle linebacker position, like the interior offensive line position. But I think through the draft is really what he wants to do. And what pieces you going to keep, Barkley or Jones? If you keep them both, he better have a good plan financially.
Like with the offense being so depleted as it is now, I see maybe 1-2 picks going towards defense this year, and then the offense. I think we should spend most of our money. We'll see what Life Wazilla says. When I franchise tag Jones, the way he makes top 5 money, and the Giants have another year of determining whether he's no. This was his year to decide.
Unless
listen,
they
if
have
you
a
were
plan to get more cap space.
But they opted out of his 5th year. They opted out of his 5th year.
Yeah,
option this
which
year
means
in the
which,
beginning,
which
so-
tells me they wanted to see how he would ride. He had a better
Right.
year than what they expected, but
Yeah.
also the
Has he
last
done
2 years.
enough?
Has he done enough? No. If he would have threw for 35
It's up to them.
touchdowns and ran for another 5, he'd be getting a contract right now.
I think if he performed better, it would be absolute lock against.
No, he's not going to accept that.
No,
He's
Barkley's
gonna
not going to
accept
accept 10 million.
Tag is
He-
10.2. Will he play under a tag? I think he would, to be honest.
that. Ken Fry,
True,
check him out Saturday nights. I think Daniel Jones is a solid QB, but if Dable isn't sold
Yeah,
on him,
exactly.
then they have to move. Yeah, they
Is
have to
Dable
move on.
sold? That's the thing. I think it's up to Dable. I think the decision's probably already made, but they're trying to see if they could. Maybe he really likes him and says, but Shane has to be smart cap wise.
Yeah,
And if he could structure it a certain way where you pay more in the back end and give him enough guaranteed, the cap will be 30 something million, 30, 32 million more, maybe more. It'll be, you'll have more space, maybe. We'll see what Shane wants to do. But you got to be really smart.
Over the last two, just look at our division. The Cowboys are stuck with Dak.
Yeah,
I would say
he's not going nowhere.
They're not giving up on Zeke, which I can care less. There's rumors of cutting Zeke this year.
No, they're not going
finally.
No, I think.
And then you have Lamar fighting for his money.
They'll keep him and Pollard.
Now,
that tandem.
If Watson doesn't recover football wise, or getting that rust knocked off,
yep,
they're in it for $240 million or $50 million.
Yeah,
for the Texans.
So
wait, no.
Where
did he go?
Cleveland.
That's crazy.
He went to Cleveland.
Cleveland. Sorry.
So you can't make that mistake and be tied down for so much money for so many years because you're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to recover from it. Ken Fry says, "I don't know why you guys hate Carr so much. He's afraid to run, but behind a solid line where he has.
I don't hate Carr. I actually like Carr.
How much is he going to cost?
Right.
I don't want Carr. I want a fresh quarterback.
So do I.
Right,
but he's going to
if
cost
we're rebuilding, let's rebuild.
Carr costs more probably than Jones.
Yeah,
and Carr's way older than Jones.
And like you just said,
we
like
don't
Ken
need
just
somebody
said,
who's on his way out.
Good O line. Giants don't have a good O line. They have an okay.
I don't think
O-line.
they're there yet. I think they're good on the left side. That's about it.
The right side's developing.
We need a left.
We need a solid
center
right
and a guard. You need both, a
right.
center and a guard.
But at quarterback, we either need to invest in Jones or move on, and not to somebody who's 5 or 6 years older than him.
That's what I mean. If you sign him or let him walk, it's one or the other. No way.
Like Rizzo says, how do they move on? Dave and Ken Fry. Okay, they have no QB. If you let them walk,
Giants have nobody.
A plan should have been in place already. The Giants dropped. No, they didn't drop the ball. It's their fresh regime. They came in inheriting him. So they rode out with him for a year because they didn't have the cap space to even go out and get a quarterback.
Right, and they opted out of his 5th year.
They can barely sign a Tyrod Taylor to back him up. So that's one. 2, they didn't have this. Last year was one of the weakest quarterback drafts since 2013.
Yep.
So this next quarterback draft is significantly better. Why you don't ever pick in a weak draft? Last year was a offensive lineman, heavy wide receiver, and heavy linebacker draft. This one is more offensive capabilities and wide receivers, and mostly I think safeties again. And there's a few good prospects.
It's all right for quarterbacks.
It's a moderately good, okay quarterback. So out of the top 6, maybe 3 or 4 will be good. But this isn't a 2020 draft where you have 3 for sure. Will Levis, they're talking about he may go 20. You never know.
I mean, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Does Shane want to start over and draft the quarterback he likes and Dable someone he likes more, or do they want to invest in Jones? It's one or the other. Yeah, I don't think anyone's on him. I like Hartman and Penix. Caleb Williams isn't bad, but they're 25th, and who would they pick at 25?
I think if Anthony, like I said, I don't take my first round pick with him, but I move my second round pick up to get him.
If they like somebody, then go get him.
Like I would take Heron Hooker in the second round, and I do what the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts. They knew he was probably. I said coming out of the draft that Jalen Hurts was one of the unsung. Like how he got to the second round, I would never understand that.
I think he's a good quarterback.
So I don't understand how that Montgomery would own in a Giants.
I would love to have him. He's good.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
I want to see. Right now, I want to see Addison. I think Addison will be.
I like Addison and Jigba. There's a couple, but the guy from Ohio State, I like Hyatt from Tennessee. That guy Richardson from TCU.
Yes.
There's some good receivers.
Would you pick up a backup running back in the third or fourth round?
Yes, absolutely. If that's what I mean. You sign Barkley and you re-sign Breida.
I'm thinking. No,
But maybe
I would put Brady third pick. But I would take Brightwell.
I would take a running back if they like one.
I like Brightwell better than Breida.
Yeah,
think
they keep
Brightwell-
Brightwell, but I wouldn't mind them drafting one in the third or fourth round. I don't think that would be the worst idea.
Because
What if
this,
Barkley gets hurt.
You
what if
know,
he gets hurt again,
It's not like he
So
hasn't.
So
given this year, I think Barkley played with a little bit more toughness because he also changed the way he
he
runs.
did. He did run tough this year.
He stopped with that whole moving around side to side.
Hit the
Dude,
hole.
You
and
have
just
quads
going
that
straight forward. Levi's.
Hole.
really Levi will be before Younger Stroud. He's protected top 10 now. Baby Grant Mayer's net. Yeah, Mayer.
He's got the size. He's got the arm.
But guess what?
Levis has the arm.
I'll skip out on Mayer. I want that
That's
kid
the
from
talent.
Georgia next year. That kid from Georgia. That's
That
like
big tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
That's
you're
what I
talking
seen
about.
him. I was like, I want him in a Giants uniform. But then again, I like Bellinger, man. You know why I like Bellinger? Because
I like Bellinger.
you have people like Brock Bowers. Yeah,
Brock Bowers, yeah.
he is humongous. I like big tight ends.
He's a
I
good
really
player,
do. You say it as a euphemism too. I like big tight ends, but
man.
we'll keep it that way. But like look at like Larry Donnell, Tony Gonzalez.
Oh, I like
Huge.
Donnell. I liked him, Larry Donnell.
Yeah, he got an injury. But
Ballard,
that's what killed him.
Ballard, Boss.
Yes, those huge tight ends that will
best of
go
all,
up.
Bavaro.
Bavard's from my time, before my time, but more like Jeremy Shockey from the
Yep,
U.
I love
yeah.
Shockey. I like
know?
big butts that I cannot lie.
But yeah, I think a huge tight end would be great for what the Giants have always been doing. A blocking tight end that's a fourth option on a pass that can get into the middle of the field, and if he's in the end zone, he's a vertical threat.
Well, yeah, but I don't think the Giants will go tight end. I think it's going to be
No, I don't think they
Linebacker?
go tight end.
linebacker, wide receiver. They could pull a fast one and take quarterback if they like one. Maybe
I wouldn't be mad.
It depends on what they do with Jones. It will indicate. If they commit to Jones, they're going to do it. If they tag him for some
Yeah,
crazy
we got to
reason,
figure out
then
how
you
much
know
money we're gonna have.
They're probably going to take quarterback.
I'm gonna
But
cry. if he
linebacker,
tags.
interior offensive line, wide receiver. I think those are like the three major needs, especially in the middle linebacker. Like they don't have the linebacker core to cover the tight ends in the league today.
Well,
And they
I
just don't have
want Penei Sewell's brother out of Oregon. That dude
Yeah.
is a
He's a good
nasty
linebacker.
kid.
I think.
He's a solid linebacker. But the thing is, what's worrying me is, how does Tibbs play next year? I would go out and get somebody behind him that's, maybe a little hungry to snap on his heels a little bit. He did improve throughout the year, but he started off so fucking slow.
Yeah, but think
Like,
what the Giants did
so
last
slow.
time. You get a rotation. You get somebody who can rotate as talented as he is. You want a pass rusher. Give me a linebacker that can rush the passer. Give me like a combination. An all-around
Really,
great
what I want to do is
fast pass rushing linebacker.
I want
Well,
one.
they
that's
have
like-
to be all around because Wink likes for all his defense.
He likes
to play
autonomy.
every
He likes them
position.
to play different positions.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
mind
either.
No. Why?
because it's about the future. Like if you
If
if
it
you
works,
tag
yeah.
Jones, I don't want to commit to Jones. I would said if he would not take a 2-year, $30 million contract or $40 million
Who are we
contract,
talking about? What veteran are we talking
Yeah,
about?
but what's one
I'd
year?
bring in Carr for a year. I'd bring in
But is that going to get us
I-
to the end result? We want to go to the Super Bowl, right?
They need a
You wanna
quarterback
win the
that's
Super Bowl.
competent. A quarterback
Is
that's
Carr
no.
gonna be
It's
that guy?
not just that. You want to go to the playoffs and make a fucking
Yep.
statement.
You want to
And
go
you-
a little
you-
further.
you wanna
wanna
be
get
considered
to
one
No,
of
we
the
want to go to the
championship
Super
game.
Bowl and make a statement.
No,
Yeah.
I'd say the AFC title game is where you want to get. And then
True.
you have a
I
chance to go
agree.
to a Super Bowl. That's
I
where
agree
you want
with
to
Yeah.
that.
But I don't want to have 1 year of good relevancy to
Yeah.
give up for 10 years of being garbage again.
I mean,
Because-
I'd like to
cheaper.
take Jimmy G just because I like how he looks.
Because if you
when
look
he
at what
comes
happened
over.
after that 2011
But-
season, that whole team got scrapped. Everybody either retired or they left. And they took
Jimmy
they're
G wouldn't be
just
horrible.
now recovering from that. So we have a good coach. We have exactly next year. Marvin Harrison Jr. He's gonna go.
Oh, that's why
so.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be good, man. He's good also. And Jigba is also really good. That's the guy I want.
Like next year
We'll
is going to
see
be like
what-
the 2020 draft. It's going to be just full of just people who can go,
Yep.
and it's going to be one of the.
Harrison
I think it's
Jr.
going to.
is. Oh, he's
I think it's
going
going to be one of the best drafts.
I think
but-
he's bigger than his dad was.
Harris.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, Harrison. Sorry.
I think he's less weight, but he's taller. I think that makes
He's
sense.
good, man.
But funny story. Marvin Harrison's from Philly, ain't he? Or is that?
I'm
Yeah,
not sure
no,
where he's from.
Yeah, I think Marvin Harrison's from Philly. I grew up like 3 blocks away from his house,
Yeah, he's good.
and where he has a car wash, and he actually shot at somebody. But it's funny
Good
story about that.
memories.
But yeah, like I said, if the first round, it has to be offense. You have to get the best offensive player available.
Could be a wide receiver.
Could be a wide receiver,
guy
could
like
be-
Mayer. A weapon at tight end. But we'll know if we're going to have Barkley and DJ going in.
See, but Ken Fry, we already have a
What's
first
the idea
round
of that?
pick on a running back. I wouldn't do 2 first round picks on a running back in 5 years. You can't do that
If it's
because
late, but I think it'd be an odd pick. If you don't sign Barkley, that might be a possibility. If they
Yeah.
sign Barkley, they're not going to take him right back in the first round.
no,
Without
it's
Barkley,
not
they
happening.
definitely would.
Barkley is the Bernie Sanders of this generation. I don't think he'll ever win anything, but I think if you get him on the track for the next 2-3 years, he
Yeah.
runs like the wind. Like I said, you would have if Dallas would have drafted him behind that line. Oh man, he would have been he would have been legendary by now.
Give him a good offensive line. He'd be even better. I think. You got to stay healthy though, Barkley. So
Yeah, but I think
I love
like I
Barkley.
said, I don't
so-
think the Giants. I think like you said, the Giants will offer him good money. I just don't think he's going to stay himself. I think there's going to be a team that offers him exorbitant amounts of money before
an
we
offer
can
he can't refuse. You never know.
exactly, and he's going to be gone. Not that
Wouldn't
we
be the worst thing in the
didn't want to
world,
pay
but-
him. It's
Yeah.
that he just had an offer that none of us can even dream about. And I can
Yeah.
see like Tampa Bay giving him like $18 million a year, as of what happened to Leonard Fournette.
If
Or
a team has it, they'll give it to him.
can you imagine him
At
and
least
John?
16.
Can you imagine him and Jonathan Taylor? Because they're
Oh,
gonna get. They're gonna
jeez.
get. They're exactly. Jonathan Taylor is a mini Saquon Barkley.
What's Tampa going to do about a quarterback, though?
Draft one.
Yeah. You put Anthony Richards behind that line, they have a.
They might have a
they're
shot
big.
at somebody in the middle, like where they're picking.
So they have an opportunity to get one of the 4 quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, Barry with that offensive line, he probably would have won a Super Bowl in Dallas, at least, just like Emmitt Smith.
Yeah,
If Sanders was in Dallas, oh yeah.
it's the point. Like you put
Barry
like these.
Sanders made his runs, most of his runs
And that's
himself.
what they say about Saquon. That's why a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, I can't trust Saquon." You're like, because
Oh, look at that run he had where he did that spin. He was going to get tackled right the other way. That's how you
oh,
knew he
the
had.
dump pass, right?
Well, no, yeah, but he like got caught. And he had to spin around and go the other way. He ran like 30 yards downfield,
Yeah.
40 yards downfield. That's how you knew he was.
But with my
was
free
back.
agent, with the free agent money that we have, go defense.
Hodgins.
Mhm.
Hodgins got paid already. He got
Yep,
paid.
Cager,
Yep.
and there's one other one.
But they got who they go defense, get some help on the defensive back end. Maybe spend 1 or 2 picks on the middle linebacker core. Sign Dexter Lawrence, get that settled away.
Yep.
And then
Restructure Leonard Williams.
The first, and then everything else, offense. Look at the
Interior
Jag.
offensive line. DeAndre
DeAndre
Hopkins.
Hopkins wants
No.
out.
Just give me a
No.
wide receiver. What about a Higgins?
Yes, I'll go for T. Higgins. He's young, and he's
I
a
would love to
good.
get Higgins.
But there's going to be so much people in the market for T. Higgins. It's not even funny.
Mhm.
You gotta pay him
Yeah,
a lot, but
but-
I would give him.
And he's only
I would
you
sign him.
got to pay him next year anyway. And we got so many people got to pay
Yeah.
next year that I want to
Fixes your-
keep.
It fixes your problem, even though you might pay a little more.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it
And what
depends.
are you giving up for a Higgins? You know,
You're going to definitely give up a first. You're going to have to.
That's the thing. What are you going to give up? And maybe Joe Shane doesn't want to give up those assets. But the offseason moves
I don't
wise,
know why
obviously we talked
teams
about
are
DJ, we talked about Barkley. I like the Isaiah Hodgins signing. I love that signing.
like.
Do
If
you
you
think
think
we
full
bring
season will
back
be good.
Shepard though?
no, he's gone.
No.
He's already a free
Because of it-
agent.
Unfortunately, no.
No, I know he's a free
I don't think
agent,
so.
but that was already in his contract. That 3
He
days.
hasn't. They haven't even talked to him. They
Yeah.
are not interested.
Unfortunately, I don't think Shep is coming back. I
I'm
love Shep,
glad. He's been hurt the last 4 years.
but he
Why
gets
bring
hurt
him
all the
back?
time. And I'm sorry, Shane just doesn't. I wouldn't pay him. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
get a receiver through the draft. Robinson will be back. You got Hodgins back. I think Slayton will be back. You have Bellinger. So I think they just need to get a number one legit wide receiver in there.
I got one question, and this is about the. I love the talks we have. Our next show
Yeah.
will be in 2 weeks. So everybody here.
Hold
2
on.
weeks-
Well,
Yeah.
Let me get my calendar.
Put it
Yep.
down. 2 weeks from now.
That why we'll know more as well in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. We'll know a lot more about trade talks. I want to ask you this. Now, we've seen that our beloved Eli Manning won the Pro Bowl against his brother.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
even though it's a glorified.
It was
Cut.
fun watching them coach against each other.
Yeah.
That
Do you
pay
think
was
this
bad.
sparks a bug for Eli to coach, not professionally in the NFL, but maybe like
He
high
doesn't
school?
really want to.
Maybe he'll go back to Ole Miss and be a QB coach or something.
No, he's talked about coaching, and I've said this before.
I think he'll
but I
coach.
don't think he
I
wants
think
to
Eli
coach
will.
in the NFL.
No, coach
Yeah.
in college. No coach
Yeah,
in
yeah,
college.
Yeah, I
college.
know. I don't think he
So
wants
many
to be
college.
in the NFL.
That's what I mean. Like go back to his alma mater. Maybe he wants.
So Friday the
wants to coach.
10th.
That's what I think.
March 10th. Okay.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you for tuning in, man. Also, guys,
Thanks, Ken.
if you're a
Thank you
Raiders
very
fan
much.
or you want to talk about the Vegas scene, go check out my man Rob Hefner and Ken Fry. They do an awesome
I
job.
want Julian Love back for sure, Paul.
Jalen Smith, no, but
I think they're
Julian
going to go
Love.
draft for a linebacker or free agency.
Julian Love, I think he's the cap casualty.
I don't think he'll be back either.
I think Bradbury might come back.
I would take Bradbury
back
back
from the
to
Eagles?
Ravens.
Yeah. Well,
But
he
with Wayne keeps you really good.
yeah, he expressed interest in coming back because, like I said before, it was not the Giants fans that drove him out. It's not that.
I think we should have kept him and just let go of Jackson instead.
Yeah. And it's
I
not the
would've rather
fact that,
kept Bradbury.
we didn't want him back, and not that Shane didn't want him. It's just we didn't have the money. Like, that's what you got to
You
understand.
had to let
Like,
somebody go, unfortunately.
he was just one of the can't afford him. And I think that's
It wasn't
what,
like Tony.
I think that's what I guess Mara expressed to him. Like, listen, it's not that we didn't want you. It's just we couldn't afford you. Like, you're too good of a
Williams
player.
is a huge money.
Because he has talked to
ridiculous.
Mara. He has talked to John Mara already.
Yeah.
So, but guys, this has been a great show. I feel so great being back. We're going to now play a video for you guys for our sponsors, and be back and give you a wave goodbye. All right, guys. Well, let me say this. I'm Big Av,
Danny.
Stacy.
and this is the Big Blue Power Hour. Thank you guys for coming back. Enjoy the show. We'll be on replay. We're on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter. We're on what else? YouTube.
YouTube.
Out of the Box Sports. We have a collection of great shows coming up, and so I'm just happy to be back, guys, and let's get the 2023 season underway. Thank you for joining us.
Go
Absolutely.
Giants.
Go Giants. Go Big
Go
Blue.
Big Blue.